Picture this. It's August 2024, Miami. A 20-year-old kid walks into a club. He isn't a tech CEO, he isn't an oil baron, he isn't even a famous rapper. He's a gamer. And tonight, he's trying to spend $500,000 before the sun comes up. He's wearing a Patek Philippe watch worth more than your parents' house. Outside, the valet is parking his Lamborghini. He goes by the name Anne Hathaway, but he's not an actress. He's the ringleader of a transnational criminal syndicate that the FBI says operates less like a hacker group and more like the mafia. In one afternoon, this group didn't just steal money, they executed the largest crypto heist against a single individual in American history. $230 million. Gone in minutes. But this isn't a story about code. It's not about firewalls or encryption. It's about what happens when a generation raised on griefing Minecraft servers decides to play the game in real life. And it's about the moment they realize that in the real world, you can't just respawn. To understand how you steal $250 million without a gun, you have to understand where these guys come from. They didn't start on the dark web, they started here. Malone Lamb, known as Greaves or Anne Hathaway, and Gene Dio Serrano, known as Box, met on Minecraft servers. In these games, there is a subculture called the Com. It's a loose collective of digital natives where status is currency. In the Com, you gain respect by dominating others. You steal their digital items, you grief their base, you ruin their day. It's funny, it's a game, but for this group, the dopamine hit of stealing virtual blocks evolved into something much darker. Cybersecurity researchers call this the gamification of crime. When you spend your life behind a screen, the line between a video game currency and a bank account starts to blur. They didn't see the federal banking system, they just saw another server to raid. August 2024, the group is hunting for a whale. They aren't looking for random people, they are sifting through leaked databases and bankruptcy filings from the crypto lender Genesis Global Capital. Transparency is usually good, but in crypto it's a double-edged sword. Bankruptcy filings show that a specific creditor in Washington, D.C. was owed a massive amount of money. The group cross-referenced this with stolen data breaches to find his name, his phone number, and his email. They know everything about him. They knew who he was, they knew how much Bitcoin he had, and on August 18th, his phone rang. The caller ID said, "Google, this is phase 1. Panic." The voice on the other end tells the victim that his Gmail is compromised, that there's a foreign login from Russia or China. It's urgent. It's scary. The victim is smart, but he's human, and human brains handle panic poorly. The Google rep, actually one of the crew's callers, tells him he needs to secure his accounts immediately. They tell him the breach has spread to his Gemini crypto account. They transfer him to Gemini security. It feels seamless. It feels professional. But here's the kill shot. The fake support agent tells the victim that to scan for malware and secure his funds, he needs to download a remote desktop tool. The moment he clicked accept, it was over. He didn't install a shield, he opened the gate. The crew took control of his screen, they accessed his private keys, and in a matter of minutes, 4,100 Bitcoin left his wallet. At the time, that was worth $230 million. Imagine that. That is the GDP of a small island nation, transferred in the time it takes to brew a cup of coffee. And because it's blockchain, there is no undo button. Now, stealing $230 million is hard. Hiding it is harder. The group used a technique called peel chaining. Imagine you have $1 million bill. You can't spend it at 7-Eleven, so you break it. You send a little bit here, a little bit there. You peel off layers, thousands and thousands of times. Hopping through different wallets, swapping Bitcoin for Monero, trying to confuse the tracking software. They were geniuses at moving money on the blockchain, but they were absolute idiots at spending it in the real world. Now, I don't know about you, but if I just got away with raking in $230 million, bro, I'd be the quietest, loneliest motherfucker you've ever seen. You'd think I was a serial killer by how low-key I'd be. There's no shot I'm letting that 230 mil go away. I've seen my fair share of movies, TV shows, bad guys getting caught once they got the money. But of course, instead of laying low or disappearing to a non-extradition country, they went to Los Angeles and Miami and did this. made exotic cars, Ferraris, Paganis, Lamborghini Urus in every color, rental mansions costing $40,000 a month, Birkin bag collection that they gave away to random girls at nightclubs. This is the Robin Hood inversion. They stole from a creditor, someone who had already lost money in a bankruptcy, not to feed the poor, but to feed their egos. They were buying clout. They needed the other kids in the comm to know they were kings. Malone Lamb, aka Anne Hathaway, was directing people to move Birkin bags around Miami like they were tactical assets. They treated the FBI investigation like it was just another game mechanic they could outsmart. But games have rules. The real world has consequences. And money makes people crazy. A week after the heist, the alliance fractured, greed took over, a dispute broke out over who got what cut of the loot, specifically between a conspirator named James Schwab and another member, Veer Chattel, known as Wiz. On August 25th in Danbury, Connecticut, a group of 6 men surrounded a car. Inside were Veer Chattel's parents. This wasn't a digital attack anymore, this was a kinetic operation. The man, allegedly hired by the rival faction, dragged the parents out of the car. They beat the father with a baseball bat. They tied them up and shoved them into a van. Their goal, to ransom the parents for the private keys to the stolen Bitcoin. This is the moment the game ended. You can mute a player in Discord, you can ban someone from a server, but you cannot undo a kidnapping. The police intercepted the van, they saved the parents, but the investigation into this local kidnapping led detectives to ask a simple question. Why were these people targeted? The answer was a $230 million breadcrumb trail leading right back to Miami. While the police were connecting the dots, an independent blockchain sleuth named Zach XBT was watching the whole thing. He watched the funds move live on-chain, even obtained recordings of the group bragging about the heist while it was happening. The FBI didn't just knock on the door, they brought the hammer. They charged these 20-year-olds under the RICO Act. That's the statute designed to take down the mafia. The government argued that this wasn't just a group of friends, it was a social engineering enterprise. They seized the cars, they seized the watches. Veer Chattel, the guy whose parents were kidnapped, turned cooperator and handed over $39 million in crypto. Malone Lamb and Gene Serrano were arrested. Malone Lamb wanted to be a legend. He wanted to be money, and he got his wish. He's famous now, but he's trading the Miami mansion for a federal detention center. We live in a world where we think digital actions don't have physical weight. We think that if we use a VPN and a fake name, we are ghosts. But the Anne Hathaway enterprise proves that wrong. They hacked the human operating system, they stole a fortune, and they thought they won. But they forgot that in the real world, you can't log out when the heat gets too high. The glitch in the system wasn't the software, it was them. I'm Noah Warrior. Thanks for watching.